Donations, 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 gifts, 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 more gifts, more gifts.
So I don't know what just happened with my intro. It didn't come up like it typically do. So I was going to hit y'all with some Umar. So peace, peace, peace. I am Phillip Roundtree, and you are tuned into the March 29th edition of Rhetorically Speaking. I'm trying to do a better job at looking at the camera. I tend to look down, or I look. They say if you lie, you looking to the left, and if you're trying to pull knowledge, you pulling from the right. And so I usually try and pull for the right. You know what I mean? Because we know that I don't lie. We know that I tell 100% the truth. And so I'm trying to do a better job at looking at the camera. But listen, we're going to get it popping. Shout out to Umar, right? Because we love them gifts, them Red Lobster gifts. Quantified LLC is the cash tag. Make your donations like you donate to your local Salvation Army, like your local thrift shop. Hit a brother up. It's much appreciated. So listen, man, we're going to get into this conversation. And again, you know, when I come into these shows, I never know what I'm typically going to talk about for that day, right? And so it's usually something that trends on social media. I go and do my pre-production stuff. I go look around and see what's going on. And this weekend, I happened to stumble across Lil Nas X. Mr. Old Country Buffet. You know the song, the road. Take my... Listen, it's not my bag, right? It's not my bag. I can say that. I'm 37, about to be 38. Lil Nas X, even though that song, you would hear it everywhere, I never specifically tuned in to listen to it. If it came on, I would turn it. Because maybe I'm just anti-old country buffet or whatever it was. But this weekend, I saw Lil Nas X trending. And where are my manners? Props to those of you who are tuned in on Instagram Live. Shout out to those of you who are tuned in on Facebook Live. And of course, shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube Live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. IG folk, go on over to YouTube. You get the better visual experience. I wish I could show it to you, but that's one thing I learned in quarantine, right? I learned how to put on a nice production, a nice show. I got some fancy equipment over here, right? And so it's pretty. Right, is beautiful. So head on over there, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's at Phil MSW. And listen, we're gonna try this again. I know last week I had on the good sister, the good hustle mom, Alicia, and we talked about Derek Jackson and just that whole situation. That was just a random Zoom call-in. So you definitely can do a Zoom call-in at 838-0557-0889. Come through. We can have this conversation because everybody be having stuff to say on IG in the comments and on Facebook. But then when it come to that face-to-face, y'all don't keep that same energy. Like I just got a notification on my phone. Listen, they going ham. And like I said, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I thought I was going to talk about the Derek Chauvin murder trial that's taking place. No, it's not the George Floyd murder trial. George Floyd is not on trial. No matter how hard the defense attorney try to make it seem like George Floyd is this drug addict and because of his physical health is the reason why he died. No, we know the reason that he died because he knelt on that man's neck for as long as he did. I thought I was going to talk about that today, but I haven't watched the trial. I'm proud of myself. I didn't even know it started today. Why do you say I'm proud of myself? Because listen, I don't need that type of energy in my life. That's bad mojo. That's bad karma. And so yeah, I'm cool on that. It just don't feel good. It doesn't edify my spirit. And for those who know me, know I'm trying to do things that edify my spirit. Oh, shout out to Alicia Nicole who was tuned in on IG Live. As always, head on over to YouTube, at least so I can know it works, right? Because I don't know, my joint been tripping all day. So, but this Lil Nas X thing, man. This Lil Nas X thing popped up out of nowhere. And like I said, I saw something about some sneakers and some human blood with Nike. And so I made a post and I'm going to expound on this a little bit later. I made a post that said every pair of Nikes has human blood on it. or in it. We talk about the same proteins that make up blood, sweat, and tears are all interrelated. And so we know over in those countries, yes, they might have done a better job in these factories. However, we know they not stopping production because somebody get a paper cut on their finger as they making these new J's. Somebody get a nosebleed and it just happened to get into whatever mixing material, it get a little drop in there. They not saying, ho, stop production, my nose bleeding. They gonna get you up out the paint, go do you for, because you get $2.35 an hour. But we not gonna stop this production line to find what's happening. It's no different than like with our food. People are like, oh my gosh, there's mouse droppings in my food. Bruh. There's legislation I don't necessarily know it's legislation. It might be legislation, right? That you're allowed that these companies are allowed to have a certain amount of things like mouse species. I'm not going to, gross you out to death. But that's part and parcel for the industry that they're in. Right? And so we know wherever these companies are, where Nikes are made, these third world countries, Asia, I don't want to say third world countries, because I don't know specifically what countries. I think it might be China, just like because we know everything is made in China. But you'd be hard, naive to think that blood, sweat, and tears, not touching them Air Maxes that you recently bought. But we know that's not the reason why people were up in arms. And I posted it and I ain't get no reaction. But it wasn't until I made this post, and I hope this is the right post. And you see it, the Lil Nas X hate is rooted in homophobia. Woo! As soon as you start that, you didn't even need nothing after that line. We could have stopped it right there. Because what are the homophobic people going to do? What are the homophobic people going to say? I ain't homophobic. As soon as you see that, you lost a certain segment of the population. That's like when we use the word racism. Say, oh, that's racist, or you're racist. You won't even be able to get the whole word out. I ain't racist. I ain't this, and that. Even if you identify the various ways that they're racist, we know that triggers people. People that their defense systems. And so they automatically are going to push back. So if you say Lil Nas X hate is rooted in homophobia, and that's it, oh man, people will have a field day. But let us go on. There's literally a group called 3-6 Mafia. Bone Thugs and Harmony had demonic skits on their album. DMX played with satanic imagery and lyrics, also with prayers. People are mad that Nas X is gay. The end. And so for those of you who don't know, Lil Nas dropped the visual for his song Montero. Visually, it's hey man, it's compelling, it's captivating, it's beautiful to see. The colors and all of that, like it catches your eye. In it, because we know people don't really care about the lyrics and what he's saying, because if you cared about the lyrics and what he's saying, and all the people who are bitching and complaining about Lil Nas X and all the kids that follow him and that look up to him, as the man said himself, listen, I was rapping about lean in sex in Old Town Road, but we ignored that, right? Because that's okay in this society. We're not going to have the same outrage as opposed to him. What, he had some feed-in braids? I don't know. Y'all got to let me know. What, he had some feed-in braids in his hair? Like they had back in my day. They had the hot pants. And I don't even think I should have said that, because now it's like my mama in hot pants. I don't want to think about it. But she grown. She lived her life. Right? He had some hot pants on. He was on a stripper pole dropping it like it's hot. And then he had the audacity to give this devil a lap dance. Now, I'll be honest. I was posting all this stuff. I hadn't even seen the video. Because for me, it's the principality, like Big Worm said. But I was like, let me go take 3 minutes and 5 seconds and watch this video. And I watched it. I didn't know what he was rapping about or singing about, because I don't even look at Lil Nas X as a rapper. He's just an entertainer. Props to him. Then I saw the infamous lap dance. That he gave out, right? To the devil. Before snapping the devil's neck and taking over. Taking the horns off his head. And then it ended. And I said, wait. People mad about this? No, y'all not mad about this. Not the same people who've been talking about Lovecraft Country for the 10 weeks that it was out on HBO. No, y'all not mad at this. So what's really happening? What's taking place over here? And so when I put this post up, I was like, it would be negligent of me if I didn't go back and start looking at different things. Because I want to understand this viewpoint of this tweet, this post that I posted. And for those of you who are on IG, feel free to go through on my YouTube at PhilMSW, where it's streaming live. And so it was, I had to reread it. 3-6 Mafia, oh snaps, mind blown. On God. Right? Oh, my bad to the religious folk. Full disclosure. That's not my bag. I don't do the religious bag. I don't get into all that. So maybe that's why I'm able to watch Lil Nas X and see the creativity and see the beauty in the video. Out void of his explanation. What I saw was a little Nicki Minaj fan. That's exactly what it reminded me of. And we know that Lil Nas X is one of the biggest barbs in the world. That's what y'all call, right? Barbs. Take out Lil Nas X, put in Nicki Minaj, and it's gonna be cool. No issues. But y'all was mad about WAP. Right? So y'all might have took issue. Just some human normal-ish that takes place. So yeah, y'all might have still been a little bit upset. Right? But yeah, I didn't think 3-6 Mafia like 666. Because it's not 666 Mafia. It's 3 spelled out 6 Mafia. I'm like, oh. Then it was like DMX. I'm like, X? Yeah, X. And so I purposely went and listened to Damien on It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And X sitting here rapping with the devil. And the devil out here getting X to shoot people. His mans from 89 who he used to hang out with. He done killed somebody who owed him money. All at the request of the devil. We love X, right? X ain't get this backlash. So again, I'm trying to understand what it is, right? Where's the backlash coming from? Why? And it was like, Lil Nas X is gay. Because that's the only thing that I can conclude. And no, it didn't take this post for me to know that. See, a lot of times when we take issue with stuff, we find something ancillary in the background, right? And it's not to be dismissive of people who are really upset about the imagery of the devil. That goes to a bigger issue, right? Issue regarding conditioning. How we've been conditioned to view things like heaven and hell. Jesus, God, Allah, Buddha. This type of control, right? That impacts us all. And so I'm empathetic to those of you who subscribe, who can't just watch the Lil Nas X video and gets triggered. But the question isn't, the issue isn't Lil Nas X. The issue is how you've been raised and how you've been conditioned throughout your years. But we know it's easier to lash out at Lil Nas X than it is to confront your mother and father, your pastor, your priest, about the why they've shaped religion and spirituality to you the way that they did. Right? I was accused of being a fatphobic, when I made a post about Lizzo. Right? And I'm like, man, I'm still, in my head, I'm still 300 pounds. Because people don't know who you quote unquote were. Right? They don't know when you were obese. They just see how you showing up now. We know in this country, America hates fat people. And so anybody that says something other than uplifting words or avoiding any type of context at all, unless you're a medical professional, you're shaming. Why? Because there are individuals who will shame people who are obese or extremely thin through other means. It's coded language, right? And so for many people, the coded language of Lil Nas X is, oh, it's the devil. It's the devil that got us mad. 9 times out of 10, if you're subscribing to this idea of the devil, you're also subscribing to, if you LGBTQ plus, you go into the devil's lair. And you eat Chick-fil-A. And so Lil Nas X put out a post, and I don't think I have it. Right? I don't think I have it. But it's referencing the impact that this idea of control when it comes to religion throughout his childhood and adolescence, the impact that it had on him. And so this tweet that I also posted, which gets a lot of the Jesus fanatics up in arms, that says when you traumatize a whole generation and more of kids with the concept of literal hell, something Jesus never preached, don't be surprised if they grow up, realize it was a control technique, and then use the imagery to make a point in their art. And so he's pushing back, right? Because you've pushed him so far one way. Same thing we say about preachers' kids, right? You push them so far one way that when they rebel, they go to the opposite end. They go to the extreme. Even though I don't view this as being the extreme. And I wish I had that Lil Nas X tweet. Because apparently he's even saying that. Listen, I've been bullied, I've been battered by the church, by religion, for who I am for so long, that I don't give a damn about y'all. Y'all need to be mindful of how you're interacting with kids, with children. How dogmatic you are with your beliefs as adults. Listen, my daughter go to a Christian school. They pray to Jesus 5 times a day like they Muslim. You think I'm not showing my 12-year-old daughter this video? You think I don't have conversations with her about Islam, about Judaism, about atheists, about agnostic folk like her pop? You out of your mind. Because I do. Why? Because she needs to recognize, she needs to be informed to make her own decisions, right? But she needs to recognize that people live their lives the way that they choose. I don't even get into this. Well, it's their life. You got to be support. I'm supporting you because you're a human being. I don't agree with your choices. I don't even know what that's a cop out for me. I want you to be happy, fruitful, productive. I don't want you to harm yourself. I don't want you to harm others. But again, a lot of this is cloaked in homophobia. Somebody I follow, Araya Baker, he speaks often. He's I believe he identifies as a queer black person, excuse me. Writes often about these issues when it comes to LGBTQ plus folk within the black church. Because we know that the black community is steeped in homophobia. Nobody likes to hear it. Right? Because who wants a mirror put up to you, to your family, to your friends, to your culture? These unhealthy truths. Like I said earlier, nobody wants to do that. And so it's easy to deflect, it's easy to avoid. Kimi says he's entertained that everyone is up in arms. I disagree. I don't think he's entertained, right? This has to take a toll on you. And in one of his tweets, he talked about it taking a toll on his mental health. You don't automatically become able to withstand this barrage of negativity coming towards you. Especially if you actively engage in it. Now with the Nike post, and I'm going to get to that now, right? This sent people to the other side. And again, head on over to Phil MSW on YouTube to see him. So we had this collab, right? With this company called Mischief. They're releasing 666 pairs of these customized Nike Air Max 97s. It has 60 cc's of ink and 1 drop of human blood. Remember, damn near every pair of Nike sneakers has a drop of human blood in it, right? Might not be actual blood, but we're talking about sweat and tears. The same proteins related to it, the same DNA of these low-wage workers in these factories. Nike was quick to come out and disassociate themselves with the sneaker. Like, oh my gosh, it's satanic. We didn't do this. We're not a part of this. They're now suing this company Mischief, attempting to block them from releasing the sneaker, which they've already sold out today. All 666 pair. Because why? This is taking it too far. Forget about what happened last month with Nike, where one of your top execs' sons was using the company credit card to buy discount sneakers and flip them for a profit. That's almost insider trading. The woman, she had to resign. But this is bad. Ooh. Copyright infringement because their logo is still on there. Wisdom Majestic said Nike's been evil. Dominique says we have to have more of an issue of his experience than influence the video rather than the video itself. Now, if you Google this company Mischief, they also have a pair of Nike Air Max 97s that has holy water in it. I don't know where you get holy water from. I know they be having it in the Catholic Church and everywhere else. Maybe the blood that go in the Nike. And y'all the same people. I'm sorry. Y'all the same people that drink the blood. It's supposed to be the blood of Jesus. That symbolism. And eat the little wafer. The little wafer be hitting sometimes. Back when I used to believe in that way. But how hypocritical are we? But it had holy water in it. It had a little Jesus piece on the cross on it. And they sold for $4,000 a pair. And I think that's the most egregious part about all of this is the capitalism aspect of it. Selling these 666 Nikes for $1,000. That's the yucky part to me. You taking $170 pair of sneakers that really only take $2 to make. Like, if we're going to be outraged, let's be outraged. What are we outraged really about? Because we pick and choose. And so this company Mischief, they also make a bath bomb that's in the shape of a toaster. Right? So you take this bath bomb shape of a toaster and put it in the bath with you. This is the company. Go read them up. I think it's quite interesting. It reminds me of like Spencer's, for those of you who are familiar. Right? And Lil Nas X is capitalizing off of this. He has popularity, he has fame, and he's getting with this company. And this is the tipping point for people. Like, we know how people are with religion in this country. Right? You got the same Republicans who were mad about WAP. Oh, man. Hold on. Give me a second. My little Zoom clicked out. I'll be forgetting, man. I got to figure out a different way. Give me a second. This be happening. I be in my bag, so I'll be forgetting to click. Hold on, bear with me. Doo-doo. It happens. But you got these same Republicans who are mad about WAP. Right? These the same people who in Georgia passes crazy laws relating to voting rights. Criminalizing giving water to people who are in line waiting to vote. Like, I would, if even if I felt some type of way about this video, which I don't, if I found myself in agreement with people who criminalize individuals for giving water to those waiting in line to vote, I just had to take a look at myself. I just don't know if that's the company I want to keep on any level. We clearly can't share the same God. But that goes to you know, something that I always say. There's a million religions. Right? There's a million religions out here. 1 billion. However many people there are, that's how many religions that exist and interpretations of religions. Why? Because we're unique. We have our own thought process. We don't see everything the same when it comes to your specific holy doctrine. And so I always say it's bigger than Nino Brown. It's bigger than Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is just giving you an opportunity to just show how much of a bigot you are. How homophobic you are. Because if you're justifying DMX having a conversation with the devil, but yet demonizing, no pun intended, Lil Nas X for giving a lap dance to the devil, then breaking his neck, then you're a hypocrite. There's no two ways about it. It's no two ways about it. Because the art form is different. But that takes people being introspective. And we know that people don't want to be introspective. People don't want to think to the depths that's required. Because why? It's safer. It's safer to stay on the crib. Stay in the crib. Right? It's the safest place you can be is in your room, in your bed. Then you come downstairs, you're in the house. Then you take a foot outside, you're outside, but you're still on your block. Still feel a little bit safe. It's when you start going to the next block and further away from your comfort zone. Do you experience discomfort? And we know that people don't like experience discomfort. Let me see what y'all saying. I got to scroll all the way back up. Trying to scroll. How can you speak for dude though and his intentions? Again, listen, man. Folk don't know me, right? And I get that. Folk don't know me. But clearly, all you got to do is, again, people don't want to be uncomfortable. We know people don't like reading. Go read. Go look at Lil Nas X tweets. Go look at a lot of these things that's taking place. First and foremost, this is my show, right? And I'm here to drop my thoughts, my opinions. I personally think they're well thought out. But sometimes I miss the boat. It happens. We need to Kylie Younger says we need to focus on having our religious institutions serve us and not us serving them. That's idolizing. I don't even know what that means. Kylie, I'm gonna be keeping funky with you. Because the mere presence for religious institutions, they don't serve a purpose to me. Right? I personally, even though I can understand what that means for some people, right? Only to a certain extent. Because I think the very it's fundamentally flawed. When we do a deep dive into the doctrines. Hence the reason I can look at it as a work of fiction. And view it the same way I view a Beverly Cleary novel. God Bless the Dead. And so in that instance, yeah, I don't necessarily think enough of religious institutions. I understand the power that they have, right? But when we come to fundamental things like humanity, I think all religions miss the mark on it. Even though it's cloaked, it's under the guise of we love humanity. Maybe he should seek spiritual advice. I saw that a lot too. Like, yo, oh my gosh. I was going back and forth with one brother on Instagram, and he was talking about how, it's blasphemy and X, Y, and Z. If I don't got... who said it? Kodak Black? You don't believe in Jesus, but you got a Jesus piece. The Jesus piece is just a piece. If I don't subscribe to your religion, if I don't subscribe to your ideology, your frustration and anger means nothing to me. Right? So why exactly... Shimi got me ready to laugh. Saying washing your blankets of religion. I don't even know where that came from. But if I don't subscribe to your religion, to your way of thinking about religion, why would I be upset about this video? I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in heaven or hell. Because, of course, if you juxtapose both against one another, you're going to want to choose heaven. You know, my thinking on religion, I'm not going to get too deep in this. The fact that people think that that there's a book that has everything that God said in here, I think that's flawed to me. Because God is supposed to be the unthinkable, the unfathomable. So our minds shouldn't even be able to construct an idea of who or what God is. And so it's the idea that whatever God we think God is, that's not God. Say the definition of religion, define it, Phil. My definition of religion is to help y'all live a life where y'all ain't killing folk. That's it. That's it. No, it's more than that, right? Because again, we get into this control piece, and we think about the times we read some of the stories when it comes to it. You know, within y'all specific doctrine, no matter which one you believe in. Nicole Street, shout out to Nicole. She says, you have to understand the truth of who we are has been hidden. Also, what we learn here in America's European culture, education, etc., religion include. I don't have Webster in front of me, Shimi, so I'm not pulling Webster up. And again, even this idea, like go to Webster for this definition of religion. Who the hell said Webster is right when it comes to religion? Right? Who, like we give so much power to everything, where we don't question anything because it's been accepted and tried and true for X amount of time. So my definition of religion is just as valid as Webster. But because this idea of groupthink is so prominent in our society, do we say go to Webster for the definition of religion? And Nicole is right, in my opinion. But we all know I believe in that quote from Menace to Society, where Rock said, if Allah can make Sharif a better man, I'm all for it. Whatever makes you the best you, I'm here for it. But when you start to deny the humanity of another, that's when it's problematic. So if you want my definition of religion or spirituality, that's what it is. I'm not. I don't think. Okay, thank you, Shimi, for shouting people out. No, I'm not being dismissive of how important it is. Right? Unfortunately, religion is very important, and I say unfortunately again because it's for you know, we see how it's used, we see how it's weaponized. Right? We see how it's weaponized everywhere. We see how when missionaries go over to countries, we look at they look at individuals who don't believe in Christianity as being heathens, right? Hence the topic. That their way of life is wrong. How egotistical is that? And so there is a superiority complex that exists when you fully subscribe to a specific doctrine. See what else y'all saying before my 40 minutes on Zoom run out. and it's the paid account. Says ain't nobody outraged like that. Be gay, whatever, over the top. Now people are outraged, right? And it's not just as simple as be gay, whatever, or over the top. That's akin to me saying I don't see color, right? Like I don't see be yes, and just be you, man. I don't see color. No, we see it all, right? We have to see color. We have to acknowledge one's preferred identity. That's the humanity aspect of it. We deny somebody's humanity when we say we don't see what it is that they do. No, we need to see it. I'm trying to scroll. Stand for black women with the same energy. Clear this. I wish I had somebody get this boy out the chat. I need to block him. Boys don't know. Again, clearly boys don't know me. I don't even know I'm giving that energy. So what about the gay church? I'm not sure what you're... I don't know what that means. And as we get ready to wind down, Wisdom Majestic says our humanity identity has been denied. I don't, you speaking double talk, Wisdom Majestic, because I saw your comments, brother. Like Jay said, is it Uchiwali or is it one mic? Because what you're saying is you've adopted an identity. And because you've adopted an identity, and our humanity has been denied, you've adopted this one to go forth in life. But you reject another who adopts a different type of identity to live their own truth. And so they're castigated as a result. Make it make sense. I don't know. Make it make sense. I mean, y'all could have zoomed in. You know what I mean? Maybe y'all zoom in tomorrow if I'm back in these streets. But I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all coming in. I'm gonna try to play this. I'm gonna try to play this outro again. Hopefully this joint work. I don't know what's taking place. Peace. Oh, there we go. It's working.